for never.
No matter how you move, get it done. No matter how you move, get it done. No matter how you move, get it done. No matter how you move, get it done.
Okay, people, so I'm going to say something that I probably said all year, but I'm going to say it again, and I know people don't want to hear it, but I just genuinely feel like this is what it is. In 2022, the Black Clover manga will do one of two things. Either it will finish off the Spade Nation, the Devils, all of that jazz, that saga, that arc as a whole, or the other alternative, and what I'm looking at probably being the case, is Black Clover coming to an end. Now, there's a lot of different variables and that you could argue for each way, whether Black Clover is going to continue, whether it's going to end. One of the biggest things that people always throw the argument whenever I say, like, Black Clover has accomplished a lot, it feels like it could end. People always throw in that interview where Tabata said, I want to make my series go for as long as One Piece. Here's the thing, at the end of the day, as much ambition as an author has, especially in a magazine like Shonen Jump, ultimately, it's not all in their hands. I'll never forget, it was early 2010s, I want to say probably 2010 exactly, if not 2011, where Tite Kubo, creator of Bleach, one of the things that he had said was, hey, I want to make Bleach go for another 10 years, and then Bleach ended 6 years later, so it didn't go exactly 10 years, and a lot of variables also played into that account. But basically what I'm trying to say is that even though an author says they want to do something, that doesn't always happen. There's a lot of variables, business, health, all of that jazz that can definitely decide the fate of a series, especially if the series isn't the most successful. While Black Clover is still wildly successful in comparison to many things that you can name, ultimately Black Clover, as of the recording of this video, has been announced to have 17 million copies of the series in circulation worldwide. Again, that's a very big number. That's a huge accomplishment. I'm very proud of this little series that I was hyped for way before it even got serialized. I'll never forget when it was just announced that Yuki Tabata was doing a one-shot. Because I was such a big fan of his previous series, Hungry Joker, I was like, let's go, baby. I can't freaking wait. And then it became a series, and then a lot of what Shueisha was trying to push was that Black Clover was going to be the next Naruto. There was actually editors from the actual Shueisha and Shonen Jump saying that they wanted to make Black Clover the next Naruto in the West. And unfortunately, Black Clover isn't the most successful and doesn't have sales to back it up. If Black Clover was at 100 million or 50 million even sales, I would probably say, yeah, there's a possibility it could continue. But in comparison to something that is one of its contemporaries, My Hero Academia, I want to say My Hero is sitting with something between like 50 to 70 million copies worldwide, and probably around like 50 million worldwide sales. Very big difference considering Black Clover came out only, I want to say, probably half a year, if not less than that, after My Hero Academia. It was only a few months after My Hero that Black Clover came out, and there's a vast difference. And even My Hero Academia, considering they both started around the same time, is also seemingly coming to a close. Based on the words from the creator Kohei Horikoshi, yeah, My Hero Academia is going to be ending probably by the end of 2022, maybe early 2023 as well. So with all that being said, Black Clover does feel like it's going to end. However, there's still a few things that need to be addressed. Like, don't get me wrong, a lot has been resolved. Just think about it. One of the big things about Noelle and the Silver family, Magicula, the whole thing of like nobody can know what really happened, and the whole family despising Noelle, essentially the entirety of her character arc has been for the most part resolved, because now the curse isn't even there anymore. So anybody, if they want to, can just simply go and explain to the Silver family, let's just say the arc ends and they want to continue to be, you know, garbage towards Noelle. All it takes is for even an outsider to come and say, you stupid motherfuckers, do you know what actually happened? Let me tell you what happened. And there will be no consequence to anything, because Magicula is not around no more and the curse is over. And in general, getting her brother to accept her and see her as an equal and teaming up with her brother Nozel, the leader of the Silver Clan, yeah, that's a very big deal. That's something of one of the three main characters of the series, Asta, Yuno, and Noelle. Noelle, the female heroine, has actually, for the most part, resolved everything that her character has set forth for the series. On the other hand, the two other MCs of the series, the biggest things about them that really need to be resolved, I guess for starters, the main thing about the two of them is that, hey, are they going to be the Wizard King? Who's going to be the Wizard King? And I've said this for a long time, and I'm sure a lot of people have said this as well. I personally think that if either of them is going to be the Wizard King, it'll probably go as follows. I think Asta will be the Julius, the happy-go-lucky, make everybody feel safe and whatnot Wizard King, and Yuno will ultimately replace the monarch of the country country, you know, the king from the background, because he kind of seems like he would fit the more political structure of things, and at the end of the day just be a way better king than they've ever had. Or it could be that essentially they both become quote-unquote wizard kings, where Yuno's heritage and his connection to the Spade Nation, once all is said and done, he could essentially be the wizard king of the Spade Nation and Asta the wizard king of the Clover Kingdom. Now that remains to be seen whether or not Yuno actually wants anything to do with the Spade Nation, because at the end of the day he has said, no, I'm from Clover, but things could change, and the character at the end of the day could see, yo, my country needs me, my family went through a lot, these devils did a lot, I would probably be a happy member of the Spade Nation if it wasn't for everything that went down, and you know, Lois and everybody having to whisk me away out of here. Ralph, maybe I should probably stay and be a benevolent leader over here, which would be insane. So essentially the whole idea that still remains to be regarding those two characters is of course the Wizard King title. Who's going to be the Wizard King, which I still have no doubt in my mind, it gotta be Asta, and then Yuno be some type of either secondary king, the king that we've had, which always felt a little odd to me. Like, I feel like Tabata knew from the jump, like, I can't obviously have them both be Wizard King, I want to have both of them get a W some way or another. That's going to be the happy medium, or again the whole introduction to Yuno being royalty to the Spade Nation. And then some other secondary stuff that needs to be resolved. I mean, for starters, Asta still technically doesn't really know what happened with Lucita and his heritage. Is that going to be explored? Is Asta gonna say, I don't care, dog, I just, you know what I'm saying, like, Sister Lily is what I'm thinking about, I don't care about none of that orphanage where I come from. Like, no, the orphanage and Sister Lily is my thing, dog, who cares? So that very well could be where ultimately things go in terms of his caring about his backstory, because we know obviously that Lieb has a connection with Lucita, but Asta isn't really informed per se about the whole situation. And is Lieb going to tell him? Is it going to be revealed during 2022 in the battle against Lucifero that, hey, you look just like that woman, like, yo, I put that bit down, and you remember that shit, right? So it could very well go that direction as well. That's how Asta finds out about his mom, and that would also push him even further. I guess the completed devil union between Asta and Lieb is something very big as well for their character and their bond. Like, they've come a long way. It went from not even acknowledging, being scared, yada yada yada, to eventually, you know, the devil union, the battle that they had thanks to Noct, ultimately leading to them having a devil union and then powering it up. But they're still not, in my opinion, completed. I think there's still like another form or two left that can definitely be explored in 2022, but I feel like their relationship has just come a long way, and I don't necessarily see like Lieb dying or anything, because Lieb is a big help and a big part of Asta's arsenal of power. He's essentially, which a lot of people have pointed out, but it is what it is, he's the Kurama to Asta's Naruto. And as I just mentioned a little bit ago, Lucifero definitely needs to be wrapped up in 2022. I'll just be honest with you, like, regardless of whether the series ends or not, this arc needs to come to a close in 2022. We have been in the Spade Nation arc since chapter 229, technically, when the whole time skip began, and as of the recording of this video, we're at chapter 317 going into 318. So we're going in on 100 chapters, and Black Clover just doesn't feel like the type of series to have such a long lasting arc. If you think about it, how much of the manga at this point has been Spade Nation? If we're only a little over 300 chapters, damn near half the manga we're going into has been Spade Nation battles, Spade Nation material, the time skip leading into the battle against all of them. So I really do want this arc to end one way or another in this year, and I definitely think it could be done, because considering where we're at right now, we're just now meeting up with Lucifero, and it looks like the battle's about to go down. He could last a bit longer and get ultimately completed, which really sounds like a scary thing, because dude is already scary. It ended off the year in 2021 in a major way, but ultimately that's where we could definitely lead, and I really want to see him fall. But then also in terms of the villains category, we got one other villain that is a major key player that we need to have resolved, considering it's a Spade Nation thing. You know, Spade Nation things, you know what I'm saying, man? The final Zogratis sibling, and whether it be that it's a big plot twist and it's Julius all along, or it's Noct, or his brother that is supposedly dead never really died, like whoever this final Zogratis sibling definitely is going to probably be resolved anywhere from January to June, I'm going to call it as well, because it's already been hinted at, and it seems like we're going in that direction, considering again we're at the final boss seemingly, right, with Lucifero, and if there's another villain after that, the final Zogratis sibling, it's probably going to be revealed now, or it's being set up for another arc, which feels very premature to start setting things up in the middle of this arc now, especially considering if it's a Zogratis sibling, it should be tied all in with the Spade Nation stuff, because the Zogratis, you know, Dante, Xenon, and Vonica are all from this arc. I don't need to say this, but I will. I don't feel like personally, as much as it would contribute to a lot of different aspects, that Yami is going to die at this point. Obviously, he's already been somewhat rescued, even though he looks like he's still in terrible pain, and a lot of damage from being tied up to Quillforth has definitely definitely taking its toll on Yami's body. I've said it before, I'll say it again. William Vengeance, that needs, if we're gonna have a death in this arc, considering we've, danced around a lot of different deaths, Gaja has, survived the pendulum swing, so to speak. I think the only person that it would make sense, and we haven't had much caring of the character anyway, post his, betrayal of the Clover Kingdom with helping out Patria and not telling anybody what Patria was up to, William Vengeance. William Vengeance absolutely can be the sacrificial lamb to have a big death. I think it would also be the big payment back to the kingdom, considering all the messed up shit that happened thanks to him not informing the kingdom, hey, I'm kind of crazy, I'm having some sort of psychotic episode where I feel like I'm an elf from an ancient time. You might want to restrain me. So William Vengeance giving up his life to save, whether it be Yami or just in general stop Lucifero and this whole battle, I think is a big aspect that is probably going to happen. I don't see Yami dying. I could see William Vengeance. And then there's a whole theory out there as well, which I don't really care for it, I'll be honest with you, of Yami being the final Zogratis sibling, and that maybe all along he has like a memory wipe or something, because remember, Yami is technically a foreigner from Japan, and it could very well be like a hidden agenda. I would 1,000 times more put my money on Noct or somebody else, Julius, being the final Zogratis sibling over Yami. I mean, it would kind of be but Yami's too benevolent, too amazing of a character, too awesome to do that. I would just be like, oh my god, Tabata, what are you doing? I don't know if I like this right now. Depending on how he writes it will depend on how I react to it, but no. And then let's not forget all the captains and everybody else's stuff that they have going on as well. I definitely would like to see Mereoleona get her own squad at some given point. Like, she's obviously just been doing her own thing. You could clearly see that she don't really need a squad. She was fighting freaking ancient demons, ancient devils, and all sorts of crazy shit on her own. So she don't need a squad, but she's just such squad. Like, she's a godlike woman, man. Mereoleona for the win. So I could definitely see Mereoleona having some type of big advancement in terms of like finally accepting, let me be a leader, man. Imagine they pull a, Naruto or Tsunade becoming the next Wizard King, and it's Mereoleona taking the spot. That'd be kind of crazy. And yeah, I foresee within 2022 probably another power-up or two for Asta, another power-up or two for Yuno, and I don't know about Noelle. I feel like she's powered up a lot, but maybe there'll be one more advancement, like a trio, a barrage between Asta, Noelle, and Yuno with the final fight against Lucifero or the Zogratis sibling. But it definitely feels like Black Clover, and I've said this so many times, but it feels like this is the end game arc. We resolved so many things, finding out about Asta's backstory, Yuno's heritage, Asta's mom, Noelle's whole family crisis. Like, there's so much that's been revealed already that there's not much to stretch for another, let's just say, 5 years. I wouldn't even begin to imagine what would need to be done. There had to be so many introductions, and Black Clover just seems like a series that is on its last leg, so to speak, in terms of what it could provide with new story ideas based on the characters that we know now. We know a lot, if not most, about the main characters that was initially a mystery. I guess one of the other things is, how did it align so nicely for Asta and Yuno at the same time to land in front of Hodge? Was it just a coincidence? Was it destiny? Was it the final Zogratis sibling lined it up all to begin with? He was an Aizen. And I mean, I guess that could be the biggest thing that could extend Black Clover for a while to go. If the final Zogratis sibling, let's just say we defeat Lucifero, we stop Quillfalf, we close the gates of hell, and then this guy shows up, hurts somebody, kills somebody, and says, oh, we're gonna go to war after this, dog. You have a good time, whether it be Julius or whoever the case may be. Then I guess Black Clover could go another couple years. So there's that idea. But for the most part, in terms of reveals with the characters and everything, the only thing we could do, I guess, would be a deconstruction for the most part for a lot of them, to kind of just bring them back down and then bring them back up. So there's that possibility. But I'm curious what you guys think for 2022 when it comes to the Black Clover series. Where do you see things going? Do you see it's going to go into a new arc? Do you think that it's going to be by the end of 2022 still in this battle against the Spade Nation and these demons and whatnot? Or you see it going a different direction? For the one time, again, who do you think is the final Zogratis sibling? How do you see Lucifero taking the L in the end? What other transformations you think are in store for Asta, Yuno, and Noelle, if any at all? Again, I feel like the Devil Union needs to be completed, and every time Asta gets a transformation, Yuno gets one, and Noelle, I don't know, man, it's kind of crazy crazy to think that Noelle is one of the most solid between the three of them. Like, just think about it for a second. Asta's is always wild and extreme. Yuno's is like, oh, Asta got one, I'm gonna have one, and Yuno's not the most exciting character. And then there's Noelle in the middle that it always feels like that hard work truly pays off in every form and facet, and it always is interesting and exciting. And don't get me wrong, the other two as well, but Noelle is like the perfect medium between the three of them. And what's the future holding for Yami and William Vengeance? Like I said, Yami, I just don't see them having the balls to do it. Like, that's the best character, my favorite character. Like, no, William Vengeance, have him. He's yours. We offer up Vengeance in place of leave Yami alone. And your overall thoughts and expectations for the Black Clover manga going into 2022 and beyond. It's definitely going to be a wild ride for Black Clover, and can't wait to see everything that Yuki Tabata has in store. If it's going to continue, we get a new arc, whatever, I'm here for it. I'm still here for the ride, baby. That's all I have for this one, though. Thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed. If you liked anything I had to say or enjoyed the video, drop me a like. I'd greatly appreciate it. And if you want more from me, make sure to subscribe. Follow me on Twitter, Instagram. Hit that bell to get all notifications. And if you want to follow any of my other social media, links are in the description below. I'm ForneverWorld, and as always, people, have an awesome day. And remember the golden rule: anime and manga for life. Bye. Have an awesome day. Peace in, and yo, it's going to be an interesting year. I'm not even going to lie. Shonen Jump is going to be majorly rocked if they do lose Black Clover. It's not the biggest seller in the world. The anime was very popular for TV Tokyo, but just in general, it's one of, they don't have a million successful series. They have a few very big ones, but they don't got a million. And Black Clover's like that happy medium that is just like one of the last Mohicans when it comes to classic early 2000s shonen storytelling that isn't necessarily trying to reinvent the wheel, but it's doing what it does best and giving the fans one hell of a show. So yeah, we'll see what is in store. Have an awesome one.
So just go to